Kia ora, hello, we are a couple of Kiwis.
It's our anniversary.
Well, it's not our anniversary. It's our anniversary of living here in Singapore. We've been here for now 4 years living in this beautiful city. And today we're going to tell you our 10 most favourite things about this city, about this country, and why it makes it such a good place to live. Starting off at number 10 are the people, but more specifically speaking English. It's a very good country to come to if you're from anywhere around the world that is native English speakers.
And it's not to say you won't get a culture shock, because it is very different to a lot of English countries around the world. However, if you are wanting to adapt to a new culture and a new environment, it's very easy to conversate, it's very easy to communicate with people here. And they have a little bit of a dialect of Singlish, and you learn to pick it up. We've picked up on some few terms as well that we use every now and again, and we've used it in our travels and at home, and people are like, what are you saying?
But just coming from New Zealand, it was very easy for us to assimilate and get everything we needed sorted to start a life that you live here.
So we are moving on to number 9, and that is, it may sound a bit pretentious and it may sound a bit snobby of us, but we very much appreciate the delivery culture in Singapore. You can get about almost anything delivered straight to your doorstep. Groceries, we can get them delivered. We can get anything from Amazon. We can get anything from just down the road.
Takeaway food and beer.
Starbucks. But most of all, I think the most handiest thing for us is the Doctors Anywhere app. And it's something that we use quite regularly to avoid just sitting in waiting rooms and getting germs from other people. And we can easily pick up the phone, just dial through an app, and you're already having a 3-minute consultation with the doctor. And within 4 hours, your medications or your prescriptions are delivered straight to your doorstep. So for us, it's a really nice little easy thing to do, especially if we're not feeling too well and we don't have to get our stuff and get out the door. But we do try and minimise as much deliveries as possible, but sometimes we like a little treat.
Coming in at number 8 is condo living. Now, coming from New Zealand, we really had no idea what living in an apartment was like. We lived in big houses, or landed houses as they're called here in Singapore. So coming to Singapore and getting an apartment for the first time was a bit of a change, but it's absolutely amazing. In Singapore, there are a number of different accommodation styles. You've got condominium, HDB, and landed houses, to name a few. And the difference between the condominium sort of living and the HDBs is the condos have facilities like pools, gyms, tennis courts, badminton courts, some of them. And to live that way is very, very relaxing, and you kind of feel like you're in a hotel 24/7.
Yeah. And I think, obviously, the cost of living is going up everywhere around the world. And yes, we have to admit the cost of living is going up in Singapore. But when you're supplemented with some of those facilities, especially in a condo, you've got your communities, the pool is very much needed in this weather. It is a very nice way of living. And we've lived in the same place for about 4 years now, and we absolutely love it.
If you would like to see a little sort of video of our condo, we did one many years ago when we first moved here, but I think we might be due for a sort of a
Do
recap.
a little updated.
Because
We've
there's
done
a
a
few
lot of
things
things to the house too.
It's changed a little bit. So let us know in the comments below if you'd like to see an updated version of our condo.
And number 7, one of the things we love about Singapore is the weather.
Sort of. Let us explain.
Well, I love it. I love the heat. Give me the heat any time of the day. Like, I love the heat.
Singapore is 1 degree north of the equator, so we're like bang smack in the middle. So therefore the climate is pretty much the same all year round. You're 30 plus degrees Celsius every single day.
No seasons.
I think the coldest day we've ever had here in Singapore was 24 degrees, and while that was lovely for us, a lot of the local people were putting jackets and pants on. They didn't like it as much, but it does mean that it gets very hot and very humid, and as Ash said, there's no real seasons to it. We have a couple of times a year where there's a monsoon season where it's a little bit more rainy, but the temperature doesn't change too much. So if you are one that suffers in the heat like myself, it can be a little bit overbearing, whereas Ash loves the heat.
Just give me the heat. But also, one of the things you definitely need in Singapore is an umbrella. So like Matt said, you'll often get an afternoon rain shower or a thunderstorm.
On a side note, obviously Singapore have known that their country is very hot, so everywhere is air conditioning. So anywhere you go, supermarkets, malls,
there's an escape.
libraries, there's an escape from the heat with the air conditioning, and all of the apartments and condos and things come with air conditioning and fans. So
and the bonus, you can dry your washing. You don't need to dry it.
Instantly, within a couple of hours.
There you go.
And now for number 6. Singapore is the cleanest and greenest city in all of Asia, or country, if you want to look at it that way.
That's why we chose it.
On top of that, Singapore has a clean and drinkable water supply, which is fantastic. You're not having to go through tons and tons of bottles of water everywhere you go, and therefore that reduces the recycling impact as well.
Also coming from New Zealand, this is something we're most nervous about. I think we talked about it in our Assumptions of Singapore video, but what we do appreciate is like the maintenance of all the parks and the walkways. You'll always hear a leaf blower in Singapore, which means that they're clearing the footpaths. You'll see people pruning the trees, planting new flowers, and as you know, there's so many options to see and visit. We've got the major gardens by the bay, botanical gardens, all that kind of stuff, which we'll talk about in a second. But don't litter.
Oh yes.
Don't litter.
Can be up to a $2,000 fine if you're littering. Also, gum. Don't sell gum. Or chew gum, sell gum. It's illegal in Singapore.
Just pick up your stuff.
Easy. Just be a good person, and you've got nothing to worry
Tidy
about.
Kiwi is what they say in New Zealand. You're going to be a tidy Kiwi. Be a tidy Singaporean. Now, we are halfway through our 10 things we love about Singapore, so I'm going to stop right here and just to give a little plug. If you are enjoying some of this content, make sure that you do press that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you are informed of more videos from us coming out soon. We've got lots of plans in the works and we're excited to share that with you, but your support means the world.
Sure.
So,
you can see more of our faces.
So coming in at number 5 is pretty much what has formed the basis of our channel in Singapore, is telling you all the wonderful things that you can do here, all the amazing opportunities for tourism, but for enjoyment, for families, and we've highlighted a few.
But you can just scroll through our channel and have a look at all the incredible things. Gardens by the Bay, the Jewel, Universal Studios, Marina Bay, the list goes on. And
Chinatown.
You're always spoilt for choice. And there's things to do as couples, but also if you're a family here as well. There's a number of parks and fantastic kid-friendly activities and attractions to see.
If there's a specific place that you're wanting us to highlight and find out more about, please do comment below, because we are looking always for options so we can share with you guys and share your tips.
Being a tourist hub too, Singapore is always developing new things, so I know that there's a lot of development in the work down in Sentosa right now. There's some new touristy things coming up.
We're going to check that out.
So we're going to go and check that out when it's finished. But yeah, being pretty much right bang smack in the middle of the world, there's a lot of tourism that comes through here, and when you get that sort of money, you get the infrastructure built for it, so we're lucky.
Number 4, the delicious food. And this is a pretty bold statement, I'm going to say it. I don't think there's anywhere else in the world that has the most options of food in one country.
Diverse
options of food in one country.
Yeah, I'd go.
Like, I wouldn't say my favourite food is Singaporean food, however, the amount of options that are available in Singapore to eat are endless.
Yeah.
There are so many eateries and bars and cafes and little speakeasies that you can just kind of drop into and experience local culture, but also high-end culture. We do a lot of stuff on our channel related to trying different foods, and we need to be a bit more adventurous about that. But a lot of the food around here derives from like Chinese, Indian, Indonesian, Thai, Malay, and we love it.
Yeah, I'm a massive fan of hawker centres. I absolutely love them. If you're not familiar with hawker centres, they're actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site for Singapore. They're like big food courts, and they're open plan, and you get all the different hawker vendors in there selling different cuisines from around the world, and it is delicious, but more importantly it's affordable.
So cheap.
And you can go down there, and for less than $10 you can get a really, really good meal and a drink, and it's just fantastic. And every hawker centre you go to has a different specialty. They nail a particular dish, and that everyone goes there for that dish, and we just love exploring that.
My favourite hawker dish is mala hot pot.
Oh yeah, you love that.
I love my mala, and I'm getting spicier and spicier as I go, but like I've been overseas and I've just been craving mala.
Yeah.
Like I love it.
Yeah.
Where's the best mala?
I don't have a favourite. I just think it depends on what my palate is telling me for the no.
Okay.
Every time is different. Singaporean food.
Singaporean food.
Alrighty, time for number 3. For me, this one is very important coming from New Zealand. I'm a very outdoorsy person. I love getting outdoors. I love hiking, I love biking, and I love exploring new places. And if you're familiar with New Zealand, it's one of the best places in the world for that. So coming to Singapore, I was a bit apprehensive about how much outdoor stuff I could do, especially in such a small country. But I was proven wrong in believing that there was nothing to do here, because there is a lot of outdoor spaces here. And the PCN network, the Park Connector network, is absolutely incredible in linking all of those parks up together so you can go and explore. I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, there are over 300 parks in Singapore.
300?
Yes.
Wow.
Also, the Park Connector network is over 300 kilometres long total.
Wow. Fun facts of Matt today.
Yeah, I've got all the facts. And also, if you're coming from outside of the Asian region and you're interested in some wildlife, here, monkeys everywhere. You see some amazing monkeys and monitor lizards and snakes. Coming from New Zealand where we see cows and sheep, it was really cool to come here and experience different types of animals and see them on your hikes and your bikes around the island. Okay, so we're getting to the business end of our list now. We're into the final 2, okay, and coming in second place is the ease of public transport and getting around the city.
Yes, there are so many options to easily get around. We don't need a car because it is so accessible for everyone to get around. So we've got buses, we've got trains, we've got overrail, like overtop rails, we've got under rails like MRT, they call them MRTs here.
Mass rail transport.
Mass rail transport that are obviously, like Matt talked about, really nice and clean, but it's also really affordable. So it's very easy to get around for less than $2 for a single trip.
Yeah. I've got some stats for you. 1 second. There are more than 140 MRT stations around the island, so you can pretty much get anywhere, and they're building new ones as we speak. Yeah. The train starts at 5:30 a.m. and runs through to sort of 11 p.m. midnight. Trains come every 4 minutes, but I think the biggest one for me is that over 3 million people ride the MRTs every day.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's pretty cool, man. Number 1 is safety. That was really lame.
I think that was like a kids' TV show, but safety is incredibly important. I think to any person that moves to a new country, that moves to a new environment, that has children. We don't have children, but for safety, like Singapore is probably the number 1 country for us to feel safe in.
And I think it's quite well known that Singapore has very strict rules, but that's for a reason. And as residents here, we feel so safe going around our daily lives, and you see other families feeling the same. We see kids riding public transport by themselves.
As a female, I can go for a walk at 10 o'clock at night with my headphones in and I feel very safe. I don't feel like I would encounter any problems while I was out. So that's huge. That is huge, and there's not too many places in the world that you can experience that. And I think when you're living in a place that does not sort of, it's unmatched. And a lot of people say the rules are strict, but it's for a reason, and that's why Singapore is one of the safest countries in the world. So that was number 1. That's the end of our list. Done. I think we did that in one take, babe. We didn't even need a cut. Like straight into it. How good. But as we said earlier, we hope you enjoy these videos. We hope that you keep watching alongside us. We are always open for suggestions, so please do reach out through our YouTube channel. We also have an Instagram, a couple of Kiwis that we very regularly check through messages. So please get to know us if you need anything, if you need to know anything, you need to ask any questions, if you're new to Singapore, if you're just visiting, reach out because we're always keen to connect. That's it from us now. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on A Couple of Kiwis. Yeah, definitely. Thanks for watching.